Anthony Totera joining us right now from Quebec City here at the Under-19 Showcase, joined by the Director of Development for Soccer Quebec, Valerio Gazzola. Val, what a day it is here. What an important event this is. Why did this event come about?
Well, this is almost an annual event, we can call it that, because of the importance of giving a platform for our players, U19 and under, to be seen by the CPL clubs. And there's so much talent in Quebec, and all the players are asking for is to be seen. You know, the motivation of these players to be here from Montreal, driving down here to be seen, is just incredible. So it's a perfect environment for them.
30 plus years we didn't have our own domestic league. Now we have it, the Canadian Premier League. How important is it that these young men now can dream? They have hope. They can say, hey, look, there is a professional domestic league for us. League One Quebec is doing fantastic work developing these players. I've said this many, many times, Val. I look at Quebec as a gold mine of players. Bombito, Kone, Sirois, on and on. Talk about the development of the players in this province and now the hope and dreams.
Well, you know, we got to remember it's the player's pathway, and the CPL completes the player's pathway. We have the club licensing program that's been put in place. We have the League One that's absolutely essential for these athletes. And people have to remember, athletes don't all evolve at the same pace. So there's so many platforms, but this one is an important one because some will be ready sooner than others, and it's very important to monitor their progression. So the player's pathway is something that's needed, and it's somewhat completed with the CPL in place now that we have a domestic pro league.
Let's focus a little bit on the coaches. We talk a lot about the players, but I don't think we give enough time to the coaches and the work that they've done with these young athletes. I think time and time again that we need to make sure that they also understand that there's hopes and dreams for them available now, because there are spots on the benches at Canadian Premier League.
Well, it's funny that you asked this. I also play a role with Canada Soccer and the club, the coaching development program. The A diploma, and there's so many coaches that come through there that are with the CPL, and with the CONCACAF convention, it comes at the right time with the CPL as well. You know, Patrice with Halifax, Estacio with York. I mean, these are all players that went through it. Azad, that's with Vancouver. It's so important, but again, sometimes you get the license and you say, what for? Well, now, you know, you have a pro league, and it's so essential for the players to get the right coaching. We know that, and all of that fits in perfectly.
Val, we saw the excitement of these athletes as they made their way to the stadium this morning. They were excited, they were anxious, they were nervous. And then what was special was the York United player, Max Ferrari, talking to these young men. He was part of our showcase, if you recall, Val, in 2019, Ontario versus Quebec. He signed a pro contract with York United. We know many players from the different showcases we've done have gone on to sign showcases. How important are these events to continue on, not only for Quebec, but across this country?
But I think the first thing is purpose and motivation. So you asked before, why are we doing this? And it's to give hope, to always motivate the players to stay in the game as long as possible. Again, players don't develop at the same rate. Some at 17, some at 18, some at 20 years old, some at 22. Some are here today that play in League One, they're in the States, and will end up probably playing in the CPL or somewhere else at 22 years old. So it's so important to keep giving these players hope. And like you mentioned, you know, role models within the league are proof that this does work.
I've traveled all across the country. I've watched many games from many different youth leagues, whether it's League One BC, League One Alberta, League One Quebec, League One Ontario. But something that stands out to me about Quebec and the way they play football, the way they set up their formations, the way they take things at another level that I really enjoy and that I really think that a lot of people have to look at and examine. Talk about that.
Well, look, again, for me, it's about playing soccer. Play soccer. What does that mean? Well, play what's given to you. So the tactical behaviors, tactical knowledge is what is almost the foundation with which we do everything. So everyone knows structures, everyone understands strategies, but within that, can you get the tactical behaviors that go with that? And that's so key, so important in the development of the player, but Who's going to develop those players? It's the coaches in all of this. So that's why it's a foundation with everything we do.
We'll finish off with this, Val. You've been around the game a number of years. I've given you the title, and many others as well, as the godfather of Quebec soccer. You started at the grassroots. You won a championship with Montreal in the 90s. You've seen it all. You've heard it all. Something that really is important that I think you need to talk to is the parents out there and understanding about development and not just the wins and losses and trophies that collect dust in the basement after it's all said and done. What's the advice you want to tell those parents?
Well, look, I think the parents have to just try and understand as much as possible the game itself. Get educated, understand, without necessarily being involved. Just encourage. Just let the coaches coach, let the parents encourage, let the parents give the right, proper environment for the athletes. Don't stress the athletes because there's enough stress as it is. But those are the key messages, because I got to tell you, it's a holistic approach. You want proper coaching, you want the proper environments, and the parents are part of that and are key to the success of the athlete.
Valerio, thank you so much for making time on this day, an important day in the province of Quebec. But not only that, the importance of the growth and development continuing on here in Quebec. Valerio, thanks again for making time.
Thank you again.